Does weird sound interesting to you? Well, I tried Vertigo 2. I'm Josh13 and I mainly do reviews. And here is another one for you. You are back near the Quantum Reactor 7. When you awake, you are set to reach your home, by any means necessary. During your journey, you encounter freaky creatures and bizarre flora. This might be all because of the fauna leaking from the other universes. To get back home, you need to survive the deadly army of robots that are programmed to purge all that live near the reactor. Talking about the troublesome day. On the bright side, you will have a gun. Vertigo 2 is a real adventure shooter with long gameplay and diverse enemies. It's challenging, and knowing where the enemy's weak spots are will come in handy. You'll be dodging and moving around a lot. Within the options there are alterations you can make. This will change the experience. For example, you could turn on jumping and crouching, but I turned off again. The bosses are even bigger in VR, and they get even more challenging the more you progress. It gets real chaotic. For even more hours, you can search for the complete encyclopedia. Like this video, when you have those days when you need more money to buy VR games. Subscribe if you like looking at PlayStation VR reviews. The trailer looked good. Then I started playing it. Luckily, they made a lot of options to adjust things, like the weapon angle. Because the way I needed to hold my controller to shoot straight was very uncomfortable. And I needed to get used to teleportation, because I hardly use it in games when I get the chance. Even the enemies I needed to figure out, because some weapons don't do much damage and they can take a lot of it. So it took a bit to get used to it all. But after that, the fun began. Like I said, there's a fair bit you can change in Vertigo's 2 options. The only thing you don't have is running, what I missed. Then you have your dominant hand. This is the only hand you can hold your weapon in. So things are switched up if you're a lefty. For example, with circle you eject your clip. If you're a lefty, it's triangle. When you're right, press X, a weapon wheel will appear. You'll select the slot by moving your hand or turning your wrist towards it. R3 is used for movement and you can press the jump button when enabled. Besides this, you have 3 wrist slots, for example for health and grenades. The dialogue is really fun to listen to. They make a lot of shady jokes and thus made me grin. I did not find the voice of Brian fitting the character really well. The character was old, but the voice felt young. The weapons I found alright, they're future alien sounding. But I have no clue what something like that could sound like. So the only thing I could say, they did not bother me. And all the weapons did sound different. Then there's soft presence of background music present and environment sounds. During the fights the music will respond fittingly and will amp up the vibe during those fights. When I look at Vertigo 2, I think it hangs more to the cartoonish side than the cel-shaded style. What I like. Yet the game does feel a bit empty and they do not even bother trying to blend the walls and the floor together. Often you can see the distinction line. Does not mean the gameplay is bad. Yet the animation did not look smooth. It was kind of funny to watch, because it was a mixture of corky and quirky. And there are more than 40 animation creations, and this is without counting the robots. So there's a lot to see on that front. I would give this game an 8 out of 10. Vertigo 2 is a strange game for sure, and that is its charm. The creations they make are fun, and it did make me wonder why sometimes. Then you have the gameplay. I personally don't like using teleportation, but to make it to the boss fights or to reach certain places, you'll have to use it. What I did think was a hassle was that you need to have your hands selected in order to grab a grenade or the hilt of your wrist. This caused for some close calls. I guess I was playing around too much in VR, because I missed that you can find weapon stations around the game. So don't be like me and keep an eye out for those. There are even secret weapons. It's safe to say, I missed a few. Overall, I'm glad I played this, and it's definitely worth to keep an eye out for. I have to admit, seeing my channel grow slowly is nice to see. Thank you. And for those who are new and seeing this, keep me in mind when you're looking for VR gaming reviews.